Last week, I spoke about what God expected of a man and a woman in marriage, and God's instruction to Moses to be a God unto Aaron as the husband should be unto his wife. Well, that was frowned upon, but let me break it down. And I believe the reason a lot of women struggle with this concept is because so many women don't know what it is to be a woman anymore. The struggle for equality with men, forgetting that when you compete with someone, you're already admitting that they're superior. Back in the days, there was no competition between genders because the roles were very clear. He goes to work, you keep the home, you have the babies, he buys the food. Their love was based on their roles. She loved him because he worked so hard to keep the family together, and he loved her because she took care of the home. There was mutual respect. Then World War II happened. Hundreds of men were deployed to Europe, to Japan, to fight. Now, the men used to work in the factories. With the men gone, the women took over. Then by 1945, the war ended and the men returned home. And there was no one at home. She's at the factory. And guess whose job that used to be? Back then, a man's manhood was measured by what he could provide. And she respected him because he brought home the income. But now that she earns more than him, the respect has dropped. The roles have reversed. And that is what has happened to our social construct till date. It is so because a lot of women still confuse roles with purpose. Purpose can only be known through the mind of the maker. If I buy a gadget, for instance, it comes with a manual from the manufacturer. Now, if I do not follow the guidelines on how to use it, I will abuse the product. God made one man from soil, and today we have billions of people walking the earth. So in other words, everybody was in this one body that God made, and God called him man. So whatever this one body does, everybody does. So the first thing God did was put this one body in Eden, which kind of signifies the presence of God. That means the first place a man should be is in the presence of a woman. It's Eden, the presence of God. So when you meet a man, one of the first questions to ask me isn't, do you love me? As much as, do you love the presence of God? Now God starts to talk to this one body. Whatever he says to this one body, he's saying to everybody. And the first thing he says is work, which means he needs a job before a woman. Next thing God says is dress. That means to cultivate, to make fruitful, to develop the skills, to develop anything he touches, including the woman. Then God gave man the instruction, do not touch the tree. The female wasn't even present yet. That is because God's intent is that the man will be the one to transmit and teach his family the ways and laws of God. Then God said, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helper who will help him fill the earth. Someone who will help bring out what's inside of him, his strength, his talents, the best version of himself. Then God pulled out a part of Adam to make Eve. The Hebrew word isn't rib, it just simply means part. Did you know that every cell in your body has another you in it? The chromosomes and the DNA coded in every cell has a complete genetic coding for another you. When you split the atoms in the chromosomes, they begin to produce a replica cell, that it begins to multiply, that it becomes an embryo. So God went in, pulled out a piece and split the atoms, which means Eve was the exact clone of Adam. It was recorded that God formed the man, but he built the female. She was the replica of the man, but because of her purpose, he had to make adjustments, give her some feminine parts, and the womb. Then God presented Eve to Adam. He didn't force him, he just presented her. Adam made that choice himself. When he saw her, he said, wow, okay, this is flesh, just like my flesh. She's man, but she has a womb, so I'll call her womb man. Then remember, God never went back to the soil to make another being. He just made that one man, Adam. And the source of Adam is God. Now, source means the origin, place, person, or thing from which you obtain an object, information, or inspiration. The Hebrew word for source is Abba, which also means father. God brought out the woman from the man, which means the source of the woman is the man, making him Abba to her. Deep down, a real woman isn't looking for just a lover or a playboy. She's looking for a father figure who will lead, guide, and protect her and the household. Why do you think women that have been married long enough call their husbands daddy? Namaste.